This is a meeting of the Parking Authority on Thursday, January 27th, 2022 at 7 p.m. This meeting is being held via Conference Bridge, and we'll start the meeting by calling it to order. Okay, Rich?
Great. Good evening. It's Rich Fitzgerald here. I know formally calling the meeting to order here. I know Eileen circulated the agenda a couple days ago, and we'll kind of go through that and obviously answer any questions that folks may have here. But first order here is just to act on the meeting minutes that Eileen circulated. I think she circulated them a couple weeks ago, and that was from our meeting from December 23rd, and those meeting minutes were circulated, I think, on January 11th. We need to formally approve those if anyone has any questions or edits to those minutes.
The only question that I was going to ask, and not necessarily to the minutes, but it was just the one, this is sort of a selfish question, but the one meeting in May,
yes.
May 26th. I know I know I can't make it because of college graduation, but anyway, I don't know if we wanted to move that date or keep that as is. You're not going to hurt my feelings if you meet without me, so that's, I just want, but again, I don't think that has anything to do with approving the minutes, just probably more something we need to talk about.
That's actually next on the agenda.
Okay. Yeah, the minutes I thought were, I have no questions about them. I thought they were accurate.
Great. All right. I'll make a motion to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Somebody has to second it, please.
I'll second it, Mike.
Okay. All right. We have these have passed. The meeting minutes have passed here.
Yes.
Okay. Great. Next is just the chair's report here. Wanted to discuss, obviously, a good segue into that in the meeting dates. And then secondly, I think I also would like to just give a quick update on the year-end audit. So, Eileen, do you want to give a quick update on the meeting date, on the 2022 meeting dates?
Sure. So the last meeting, the board did not vote on it because May 26th was the one date in question as to whether or not enough people could attend the meeting. So now we just heard from Mike, so it's up to all of you whether you want to stick with that May 26th or schedule a different date at this time, or you can also put it in as the meeting date and then decide, a month in advance or so we could change it. So I'll leave that up to you, and then once you decide on the May 26th meeting, then you can take a vote to vote in the calendar, and I can get that over to the town clerk's office.
Okay, great. Thanks. I'm going to just recommend that we keep the May 26th date. I know throughout the year we're going to have potential conflicts from probably some folks throughout the months here. And then let's look out 1 month before May 26th would be my recommendation to see if we have a quorum. And we would just probably call, and just figure out a date if that works for all.
It's fine with me.
It's fine by me. It doesn't bother me at all.
Okay, great.
Okay, so if somebody could make a motion to go, to accept the meeting date schedule for 2022, and someone second it and then take a vote, then I can get that out.
Great. This is Rich Fitzgerald. I'll make a motion to approve.
I second it. It's Greg.
Okay.
Okay, great. So I will send that out to everyone in the meeting today, as well as send it over to the town clerk so it can be posted.
Great. Thank you, Eileen. Appreciate it. And then probably just the next topic is just a quick update. We are almost through the year-end audit for the Parking Authority. It's in the final stages. We're hoping to present it tonight as a topic, but just we're extremely close. There's nothing to be alarmed at. It's just taken a little longer than we would have liked for our auditor to complete this, and some of that's just due to the auditor also covers the town as well, and so Eileen has been in constant touch with the head auditor, and we've been pushing. We're hoping to get it wrapped up tonight and present the financials and have the team speak to everybody, but it will be a February agenda item. So I do apologize about that, okay? But nothing to be alarmed at, in our opinion. So just some staffing issues from the team, so from the auditor. I'm sorry, Eileen, I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize.
Oh, no, I was going to say the same thing, that it's just, final conversations about adjusting entries to the numbers, and they're not all that different from what we've been looking at and forecasting that prior year.
Great. And like I said, that'll be an opportunity for everyone to meet the auditor next week and the head partner and go through some of the financials. So that will be traditionally around the same time of year when we have this meeting. So but we'll count that hopefully for a February topic, okay?
Sounds good.
Great. Eileen, you want to give us a quick update on the just a quick office report here on some of the stats and some of the other topics here?
Sure. Okay, permits. So we sold 8 additional permits in January. Year to date, we've sold 1,700 Fairfield permits, 250 Southport permits. This is probably about 88% of what we sold in FY20, which was the last normal year. We have no wait list. As we receive requests, as I've said in the past meetings, we issue the permit to them immediately. As far as parking stats, we've seen the numbers have dropped since mid-December. But prior to that, they were anywhere from 350, 450. We had days where it was 500 total parkers a day. And then mid-December, it dropped, and it's been less than 200, maybe 200 at best on most days. In January, the average number of parkers in January was 183. So there's definitely been a pullback, and I think we all know why, because Omicron pulled a lot of offices, to encourage their employees to start working at home again. So the numbers I'm hoping, to see that as that starts to wane, that the numbers for parkers will go up again. In terms of day parkers, month to date, we have an average about 39 day parkers. That excludes permit parkers. 39 day parkers a day, and year to date meaning fiscal year to date, we've had about an average of 85 day parkers a day. Far majority is at Fairfield. Not as many people are commuting out of Southport right now. The train schedules a lot of the trains that normally were stopped in Southport are not stopping now. They have fewer trains, and so a lot of them are not commuting in. We continue to have about 60% of the day parkers paying on the mobile app, and the remaining is, the kiosk. So that seems to be working very well for our day parkers, so that's good news. On to the station house update. So I met with engineering again. They are finalizing, or I shouldn't say finally, but getting close to completing the drawings. They're working on all the framing for the addition. They're identifying, the studs, all of that, and then we will meet with DPW prior to the drawing is being done, but when it's close to being done, we'll meet with Public Works to get on their schedule and on the calendar to get this work done. And I believe that some of the electrical work could be started prior to the Public Works start of the project, because there are some ceiling fans and lights that have to be moved, and that they have to be moved before the wall is built. So I'm going to start talking to Public Works and to the electrician about that, see if we can get that moving. And then this way the electrician would come back after the wall, all the framing is done. They would put all the electrical work in. The state will come down and inspect it. And then if they're satisfied with what they see, which I expect they would be, then they can complete the project. But the actual time frame of all this, I don't know yet. As I've mentioned before, the town has some grant money that they're doing projects with, and some of them are timed, so they're going to be fitting us in here and there on this. But it's not a large job, so I'm staying hopeful. And then the last item, I had talked to you a little bit about the lot wall. We basically have two options: the Fairfield Public School, which had approached us several years ago about doing something, and then we have the Fairfield Equity Coalition, who came to presented at our meeting in October or November, and their desire to do a mural on the wall. And I was just wondering first if anyone had any questions about the Fairfield Public Schools' thoughts and ideas. I don't know if everyone had a chance to review all that.
Hi, this is Adrienne. I think that it's a little hard to read it but not have kind of a visual to go with it to get a sense of what they were referring to. It also occurred to me, and I apologize, I should have looked into this before this call, but I have a friend through grad school who I have a master's in city planning, who specializes in this kind of thing, and who may offer some other, different ideas about how to get a mural up at not much expense, that is successful. And I'd be happy to touch base with her, send her an email this evening.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know that we want to consider any other avenues, though, so that may not be, so exciting to you guys. I don't know. But it would be really nice if there was an example that we could see.
Well, the Fairfield Public Schools, as I had mentioned, they would either come up with a theme for us, or we could come up with a theme, and they would work with us. If it were the option where the students do banners that then get hung, and they would be large banners, they could do a theme, like whether it be a welcome to Fairfield and something similar to what they did at the station houses. I don't know if you're familiar with the banners at the station houses, but those were all done by Fairfield Public School art students, upperclassmen art students. They came up with these graphic designs and produced these designs for us that we then turned into banners. And we hung them around the station houses, and I believe Community Development purchased some as well and had them hanging in town in certain areas for a short while. So they would do something along that line. The other thing that was mentioned was that Photoville, which is a different idea, but it's really meant to be an outdoor museum. If you look at the website, you would see that it's often on a fence, not a wall, and it's on like a lower fence, like a chain link fence, and it's kind of in a certain area where there's a sidewalk. I don't know what happened there. But anyway, it's considered an outdoor museum, and it's an area where, like, if you look at some of the pictures, it's on a chain link fence, and the mural, the banners go on for 240, 250 feet, and there's a lot of verbiage on it, and so it's meant for, as you're walking by, you're reading it, that kind of thing. And we both agreed that wouldn't really be that wouldn't be really the right thing in the train station, because we don't have a lot of people walking along that wall, and we don't have the sidewalk area for a crowd to be walking along that wall. That what we needed more was, if we put anything up, it had to be bigger, something that people would see from across the lot. So that's why she came up with the other idea of possibly the students doing different designs. So she has not she was waiting for our feedback, whether we had any interest, and then if we did, she would then come up with different designs. Fairfield Equity is the same thing. They didn't, when they met with us, they had examples of different murals that were done in Connecticut, but they did not have any kind of example of what they would do at the station. They were going to do a survey and see what they came up with, and then present that. So right now we're kind of in the same boat where we really don't know what the end result would be.
I think even seeing some examples of what they've done elsewhere might be helpful. Does anyone else think so, or is that just me?
Yeah, I think part of it, and I can send it to you, came before you joined the board.
Oh, okay.
The board had seen their website, so I'll make a note to send that information to you.
That would be great. Thank you.
But it is really nice that you have a friend that, maybe we could also further educate ourselves on. So it's really, reassuring to know you've got someone in the business per se, and we could also, maybe look to you for some thoughts in this area as we get up to speed. But it's a very complex topic, as we tried to highlight last month.
Yes, right. And so I think what I would just ask her at this point is, what are successful mechanisms for this, and where has she seen stumbles? Has it been problematic to do it with schools or whatever? Or does she have any tips on that front? Or she might just have a few just suggestions in general when thinking about a mural that, I guess, in a way, we should think about it's not something that one would read from left to right or right to left or whatever, that you can kind of take in parts.
Mm-hmm.
Does that all seem like it would make sense for me to check on, or would you say it's premature? Or just more information than you want right now?
No, I'll answer the question in a second, introduce Mike. But I think, and it was in your notes, Eileen, about the cost. I think it's tough, given the revenue numbers, whatever they may be, but I've got to believe they're much lower than we thought they would be, 2-3 years ago, to justify an expense like this is probably, that's a tough nut to crack, I think, and to accept. But it doesn't mean we can't talk about it, we can't investigate, and we can't plan, right? And so I think any information we can gather at an acceptable, measured pace, because we just don't have the funds immediately to do this, but we can still talk about it and create a vision for that wall over time.
Yeah, I think I had mentioned in an email that, money-wise, we don't have the the dollars to really, in my eyes, to put out. That's going to be the board's call on that. But and I think that our money has to go first toward the commuting public projects. So, and with the station house renovation coming up, but I think you're right. Maybe if things turn around and so on, maybe we just keep exploring. That's my unsolicited opinion.
Yeah, and you can do that in a way that's very acceptable, right? You're not offending anybody. This is the reality of the situation. Let's turn a negative into a positive and take this time to discuss, and create a vision.
Yeah, I agree. It's, just seeing the parking numbers, and maybe they'll start to uptick in February and March, but we're not going to go back to pre-COVID days here. I mean, it's just not going to be like that. So, but it is a good time to learn a little bit more, and there's a lot to this topic, as I think we're starting to all understand.
Okay, so that's it for my office report, unless anyone has any questions or anything they would like me to follow up on. Adrian, I have your follow-up on my notes, but does anyone else have any questions on anything I presented or any other questions?
This is Adrian again. I'm new, and I don't want to be, a nuisance, and maybe it's something that you guys have already addressed, but has there been any talk about introducing solar canopies on any part of the parking area?
There was many years ago. I'd have to look. It was before my time. I know that they looked at it, and there were a couple reasons why it didn't happen, and I think
I think I could tell you part of that. It was pre-Me Too, but I know we discussed it like probably 4 years ago, and it was originally brought up when they were doing the ones, I believe, at the Sportsplex, possibly, and they had, if my memory serves me correctly, which there's a 30 to 35% chance or maybe an 80% chance I'm wrong, but there was a public hearing, and the group of people that that surrounds the parking lot, they didn't want any part of it because of what it would ultimately look like and all of that stuff. And again, I'm fairly sure that's what happened and why it didn't go anyplace on the grounds of the parking lot. But I don't know how I would have to go back and look through an awful lot of notes to find that out, I think.
And I think, Greg, does this sound familiar? Wasn't one of the reasons that they were hoping it would power the station house or some of the lighting?
It was something like that too, and
it wasn't going to do that. It was actually going to go to somewhere else in the town or something like that. And
something like that. Yeah.
I don't remember. So I don't want to get quoted, but I know there were a couple reasons.
Yeah, that sounds like that definitely rings a bell.
I imagine it's a non-starter then, but it might be worth checking to just see if things have evolved. The world has evolved in such a way that it might be worth reconsidering. Not necessarily for the entire lot, but for a portion of it. Or, solar panels have also changed, so they might be less unsightly. I don't know. Just a thought.
Yeah, I can look up the old records, see what I find, and let everybody know. I haven't run across them, but I'm sure there are a couple drawers that I could go through and maybe see what I can find out. Could also talk to a board member or two who was, on the board at that time and see what they recall.
Great. That's a good idea. Thank you, Eileen.
That would be awesome.
Greg, was it the board before you came on that was involved?
I think so. I think it was because it wasn't that long before that they put those into Sportsplex and the fields and the high school. So I think it was all around the same time.
Yeah. Okay.
That's awesome. Thank you. If there's any way I can help on that, please just let me know.
Okay, thank you.
All right. I think that's it for our agenda here. I know no one had any further questions, I believe. So with that, I'll make a motion to adjourn at 7:32. Here.
I second.
Excellent. That's Greg. Thank you, everybody, for your time.
Thank
Stay
you.
safe and good luck with the snow if there is any this weekend. All right. Take care.
Thanks a lot.
Good night. Eileen, see you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Okay.